What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is James from Cop Logic, and we've got some top tier news today. Finally, some good news coming out of Liverpool Football Club. So I'm going to just jump straight into it. It is, of course, the news that Mo Salah is not only looking to stay at Liverpool next season, but he is also potentially going to extend his contract. So this was obviously huge news. It broke this morning via David Ornstein, a top tier journalist, as you guys probably already know if you watch this channel, and it was an exclusive article in The Athletic this morning. So before we get into my opinion, let's take a look at what he actually said. So as I said, the news broke this morning via David Ornstein, and he said Liverpool expect Mo Salah to stay and are planning with him for at least another campaign. The 31-year-old has given no indication of wanting out, and his contract is to be addressed in due course. Saudi view is that Salah intends to remain at LFC next season. Again, that was from David Ornstein, and he went on to say that Mo Salah remains fully committed to Liverpool. So as you know, David Ornstein, top tier journalist, but this was followed up by Paul Joyce, who does write for the Echo and generally is briefed on things by the club. Typically, Paul Joyce doesn't talk unless he's spitting facts. So again, this is another top tier journalist that you can rely on, and he followed the story up by saying Mo Salah is expected to remain at Liverpool, with Michael Edwards a huge advocate of the player. We know this because Michael Edwards, you know, famously, he was the one that pushed for Mo Salah in the first place to come to Liverpool. So Michael Edwards, huge advocate of the player. Richard Hughes will open contract talks with Salah over a new deal before it expires in 2025. So again, super exciting news there, and very important, because ultimately, if Mo Salah stays at the club, which I think everyone should want him to do, you know, there's been talks, a lot of talks over this sort of weekend after the game and after what happened between Salah and Jurgen Klopp, obviously, that maybe it's time for Mo Salah to go or whatever. And first of all, that incident was blown massively out of proportion. I don't actually think Salah did that much wrong. I mean, sure, it was disrespectful and he shouldn't have done it, but ultimately, he's a human being and he has emotions. We've all been there and we've all done it. You know, we've all said things to people that we respect that perhaps we shouldn't have done. And, you know, that goes for every single one of you watching as well. And realistically, we cannot expect these footballers to just be emotionless robots. Mo Salah is one of the greatest players on the planet right now, even right now. He's not used to being benched. He's not used to being a rotation option. He wasn't happy about it. He wasn't happy only getting 10 minutes in the game. He wasn't happy that he was being thrown on in a situation where he needed to try and find a winner and he was only granted 10 minutes to do it. We don't know exactly what went on in that argument, what was said, but, you know, he's a human being at the end of the day. He was frustrated. Let's just move on from it. I'm sure Jurgen and Salah have moved on from it by now. It really doesn't matter. And this is huge news that Mo Salah wants to stay at the club, because again, you know, he might not be in the greatest form of his life right this second, but he's still having a better season than Bukayo Saka, who is everyone's golden boy of football at the moment. He's still our top performer when it comes to goals and assists this season as well. Mo Salah, again, I mean, it's another 20+ goal season. Mo Salah is still posting the numbers. Even in his worst season, it's better than Bukayo Saka's best season, which is this current season, by the way. I think Bukayo Saka's just hit 15 goals, his highest total in the Premier League to date. Mo Salah's still having a better season than that, and many of you would probably argue this is Mo Salah's worst season at Liverpool Football Club. I would argue it was last season, but here we are. Anyway, the point is, a lot of you are, okay, I say a lot of you, but I mean generally the wider sort of stratosphere of the internet is, I've seen a lot of people suggesting Mo Salah should go in the summer, and I think that's totally wrong. He is still one of the greatest players. I think he's top 3 greatest players in the world right now, and he's certainly, in my lifetime, he's the greatest player I've ever seen play for Liverpool Football Club. He is definitely the greatest player of this current era of Liverpool Football Club, and it's absolutely stupid to wish him and want him out of this club because he had a little bit of an argument with Jurgen Klopp. The stuff about there's going to be fire if he talks, by the way, that was 100% aimed at the media. I don't know if you guys have actually seen the video of him saying that, but I'm certain what he meant by that was that the media, if he says anything, the media will blow it up out of proportion. And they went and did that anyway, so it kind of proved his point. Mo Salah, for me, you know, yeah, he shouldn't have said what he said to Jurgen, but we move on now. I'm sure he's apologised and we can move on. Let's just forget about it. Mo Salah, still one of the greatest players in the Premier League, one of the greatest players on the planet right now, and he's ours, and he wants to stay. And it says huge things about his character, by the way, that he is willing to lead us into this new unknown era, into this new unknown territory with onslaught. We don't know what to expect next season, but we do know, at least right now, that Mo Salah wants to be a part of it. And a huge thing about him staying at the club, I think, is we've got to try and get him to extend that contract, even if he only plans on staying another year, because that will just allow us to sell him. It will allow us to get more money. If we don't extend his contract and he stays next year, then that's going to mean he can leave for free, which isn't great for our finances, obviously. So I think extending his contract is a huge thing. And on the subject of extending his contract, we have had some talk there from Alex Crook, who says that Liverpool are confident Mohamed Salah will extend his stay at the club and Saudi chief hopes of landing him are fading. So Alex Crook works for TalkSport, so whereas the Paul Joyce and the David Ornstein articles I would 100% back, this guy, TalkSport don't have the greatest reputation, so take that one with a pinch of salt. But it was followed up by Ian Doyle, who, top tier by the way, said Liverpool are expected to address Mohamed Salah's contract situation once Richard Hughes officially starts and Arne Slot has been appointed. So I'm sure we'll have more news about the contract extension for Mo Salah in the coming weeks, certainly once the season ends. So definitely stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want to stay up to date on all the Mo Salah extension stuff, because we'll definitely be keeping you guys posted on that. Obviously, it's huge news because if he extends, that means we will have the option of selling him in the coming years as opposed to letting him go for free, which is just, securing our own finances as a football club and allowing us to bring in a successor if such a situation would occur where we have to sell Mo Salah. But the main talking point, the brilliant news as far as I'm concerned, is that Mo Salah wants to stay at the club, and he's still one of the greatest players in world football, and we'll have him, fingers crossed, next season. I do not think this is the end of the story, just because the window isn't open yet, and as soon as that window opens, the Saudi clubs will be throwing in bids. You can definitely bank on that, and even if Mo wants to stay, you've just got to hope none of those bids attract the attention of Michael Edwards and he thinks, well, that's a lot of money, maybe we should have a talk about this, because I 100% want Mo Salah to stay. But like I said, the good news is it seems like Mo Salah wants to stay, and it seems like Michael Edwards wants to keep him. So I think that puts us in a massive positive moving forward into the summer transfer window. We'll wait and see what happens. But right now, guys, it looks like Mo Salah wants to stay at Liverpool Football Club. I think it's amazing news. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already to stay up to date on this story and everything else that's going to happen throughout this summer transfer window. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.